Podcast with Visceral Hardline Dev Zaculon. We all know him as the number one wheelman, self-proclaimed, right?
Hmm.
We've got Paul the Punisher here tonight as well.
Oh,
Oh,
look that's
he's even got a trophy.
oh my
Look
god.
at that. You've got your own patch now. You've got a
That's right.
trophy. Who is agreeing there to just feed and stoke your ego here? Who is allowing this to happen?
It's various people are allowing this to happen. Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
You're running unchecked right now. I mean, this is
Yeah.
crazy. How did that? Actually, I like the patch. I like how the patch looks. It almost has like a Grand Theft Auto vibe to it.
Yeah.
How did that come to being?
We had when we launched the game, there were a couple patches that had people from work, like their faces on them, and then we actually had our legal department hit us up and say, look, if you're going to put some people on the team in the game, you need to offer it to everyone. And so we sent out an email to the whole team and was like, hey, do you want to be on a patch?
So
And
you
there were
you
like
got in
20 of
on the equal opportunity route.
us.
Oh, that's
Now, I
low.
didn't pick what it was. You just got to sign up, and like the guys that do the patches, they just make it. But for me, I think it was obvious what they were going to do, right? So,
It was obvious that you're going to be number one wheelman, right? So
yep.
after several bribes of small denominations, that's what you wound up with, right?
If you just could start calling, like if you give yourself a title and then you just repeat it over and over and over and over and over and over, eventually, like it just becomes fact.
It's
I'm,
reinforced.
num- I'm yeah, I'm number one wheel man. It's unstoppable at this point.
Yeah,
It's a
it's
fact.
not what is it? It's not a lie as long as you believe it's not a
Yeah,
lie, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I do believe that I am the best driver in all of the Hardline universe.
All the hardline
Nice.
universe, very nice. So we've got some big news coming out today. We've got some cool stuff getting ready to go on. Blackout, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we we are doing a free update to the game. It's just going to be a patch, so everyone's going to get it. It's not even you don't have a choice. You're going to get it, and it's going to include two free maps. Really, they're night maps of maps that we've already released. Two new guns, and then the night vision goggles, as well as some assignments and bug fixes and stuff like that. And that comes out on Tuesday, November 3rd. So just a few more
Tuesday,
days.
so right around the corner.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
So
yeah, and we announced it last week, and then people are on me about like, when are you going to tell us the date? When are you going to tell us the date? When are you going to tell us the date? We can't tell the date until it's confirmed. So like, what happens is we finish the thing, we send it off to Origin and Microsoft and Sony, but until they look at it and they confirm that it's all good to go, we don't, because it could slide, and it would just slide a week. It'd be like, oh, we need to fix this or we need to fix that, and then we would have slid it out to, the next Tuesday, November 10th. Probably would have
so
been.
so kind of walk me through, I guess, the logic of how this came to be. I mean, who decided, hey man, let's, because you don't see a lot of companies just giving free DLC like that. I mean, some do, some don't. Battlefield traditionally has always had the premium, membership where you get your DLC every quarter or so. Was this the devs' ideas for this
Yeah,
DLC, or?
yeah. It was our idea, and to a fault, we should have like involved more people because obviously it just kind of popped up out of nowhere. We didn't do a trailer, we didn't really hype it. We just made it, and I kind of told PR and marketing and everybody else like really late. I was like, oh hey, by the way, we did this, and we're just gonna add all this stuff to the game. How it came about was, first of all, a lot of people were asking for like alternate sort of night versions of some of the maps. It's been very popular every time Battlefield 4 does it. Those guys at Dice LA, I really look at those guys as a model of how to support live game. I mean, they're doing an amazing
Oh yeah.
job supporting that game. It's funny because some people sort of made fun of me when we announced this, like, "Oh, you're just copying Dice LA." Man, I'll be happy. Accuse me of copying Dice LA. That doesn't make me. I'm happy to be accused of that. They're doing a great job supporting their game, and that's all we want to do is support the game. And so it felt like, hey, it's a cool way to give people something free. The people that needed to do the work to make it happen weren't necessarily like they had free cycles. They had the time to do it, and they wanted to do it. It all came from the dev team. The lighting team was the first one that brought it up. They're like, hey, people really like night maps. We could do night maps. And then so the reason we picked the two maps was Bank is just one of our more popular maps. It just, that map plays really well with our game. And then when we released Criminal Activity, the most popular map was Backwoods. And I wanted to figure out a way to give that map to everyone outside of premium so that people that aren't premium can see that like, hey, we're really stepping our game up and like delivering higher and higher quality content. And I can't just give them the map. We can't just go, oh, give them Backwoods or whatever because
Right.
it's part premium. So the sort of workaround on that was, well, we'll make a second version of the map that's a nighttime map because then we can give it away because then we're not, we can't go giving away something that we're selling to people because obviously if you paid for something and then I give it away to people for free, you're going to probably be upset. So just a way to
Well,
get exposure to that map.
I think personally, I kind of agree with the choices right there too. Out of the quote unquote vanilla maps, Bank Job is probably one of my top three, I'd say, and I find that I've probably played that more than any other map, just from the beta alone, and then
Yeah.
progressing on to the actual game. It provides a lot of depth. So, starting with that one, can you kind of walk me through the changes? I mean, I saw a photo of it. It looks like the inside of the bank has been completely shut down power-wise and everything else. Is that the case, or are there going to be some light sources in there?
No, the idea, like, and there's always like a little loose fiction around what's going on the map. The idea with the bank is that if the bank job you're used to playing is happening like during the day, right? It's like a daytime. It was actually supposed to be like the morning, right? It's like they're getting in there
Right.
right before the bank opened and they're robbing the bank in the morning. The idea with the nighttime version is kind of that robbery happened and some criminals basically holed up in the bank and there's cops outside trying to get them to come out and there's criminals inside and they're refusing to come out and so the cops cut the power. So outside of the bank they've set up these
Okay.
like power generators with these floodlights that are blasting the
Ah,
door. So when you come out of the doors it's kind of blinding and there's like these floodlights that are set up.
nice.
And so that's kind of where we pick up is like as if it had been like later on in the sort of fiction. Obviously it's sort of a fictional setting. We don't worry too much about it. In the end, we worry about the gameplay being fun. But that's kind of the idea behind it.
So that kind of flows into a all-important piece of equipment that you're introducing to the game, the night vision goggles. So
Yeah.
obviously, you're not going to be able to just flip those things on and run with it the entire round, right? You're going to have to be very strategic in how you use it because you walk out of a building with those into some floodlights.
Yeah, you're
So
gonna be blinded. Yeah, you need to be smart about when you use it. The idea is that like the long range guys, the guys that are using sniper rifles and battle rifles, they're using the FLIR, they're using the RNV, and they have an advantage in these situations. We wanted to give the short range run and gun guys sort of a counter, something where they can also sort of have that same vision setup, and that was sort of the solution we came up with was the night vision goggles, and I'm really happy with the way they turned out. I mean, you guys will get to see on Tuesday. They play really well.
how about the distance of the sniper rifles? Is that affected in the darkness, or does the do the NVGs kind of shorten the distance, the maximum effective range?
Yeah, they're a little shorter, like the night vision goggles. You don't see all the way across. I mean, it's similar to the way the scopes work, but it feels like in the night vision goggles the distance is a little shorter. It's more of a short range thing, and you definitely feel the light when you get hit with the light.
So going on with the other map, Backwoods, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Paul, out of those maps, would you say that's your favorite also? Because for me, I played Backwoods almost exclusively when I could. I just really, for some reason, like the feel to it. And I can only imagine at nighttime it's going to kind of give off like a Silence of the Lambs vibe, sneaking around the woods with night vision goggles on. So what kind of play style does this create? Are you going to keep the same size map and everything? I mean,
Yep. Yeah, no, the map is the same size. The main thing is that certain areas are like decently lit, and then certain areas are just like dark, dark, dark. And like a lot of people in that map, they like to hang out up in the hills that are kind of between the capture points, right? Like
right,
you have
right.
that, like you have the bridge, which is like, I think it's B, right? It's B.
Yeah.
And then you have like D where the train cars are. People love to be on that hill between B and D because they can quickly sort of jump back between two. And then same thing on the other side. There's that hill between B and the burner, which is E, and then C is the sort of like logging camp area. And so people get on that hill and they have like access to the 3 points or whatever. So like it's definitely dark in the hills, but then lighter at the sort of main points. It's hard to say like how it plays differently because like we play the game so every time I try to predict how it's going to play when it comes out, I'm wrong.
Right.
The way we play the game at work is just It's different. We're not as good at sniping as people are in the public. Uh, we just have a wide range of sort of styles on the team, but they don't necessarily line up with what you see in public games. So I don't know how it's going to play. We'll see. I was playing it last night on the original version. I just jumped on
Right.
my Xbox and someone was running it in Conquest and I was playing it and like trying to think about like, okay, like how are these people? I think you're going to see a lot of the same stuff. Snipers up in the hills and then the shotgun and SMG guys down at the actual points of interest.
It's just they might feel a little more inclined to be out in the open with the dark hiding them.
Yeah. I think so. And you know, the stealth outfit makes more of a difference in the nighttime maps, obviously, than it does in the daytime.
That's a good point too.
Oh, so
Yeah.
uniforms are actually going to make a pretty big difference.
Yeah, man. If you're dressed in all black and you're up against a sort of a black background, right? It's a huge
Yeah,
difference.
exactly. Well, and that's kind of neat too, because you see a lot of games where, especially Battlefield 4, I felt like the uniforms are just kind of superficial. It's like, hey, this one's slightly different from this one, but it's really going to offer you no major advantage in the game overall. So it's nice to see a situation where using something black is actually going to pay off when it's dark. So that's pretty cool, actually. So
Well, and the badasses that will still run the Team Pride outfit, and they're just rocking the, like bright red, like because they don't care, right? Go
right,
ahead and
right.
see me, you're still not gonna kill me, and I like that sort of, the cocky attitude there of like I don't need to blend in, I'm still gonna kill you, you know?
Right, absolutely. So I guess the incendiary devices and all that. Are you pleased with the final product of those and how they're working on the night maps?
Yeah, yeah, no, I am. I think they work really well. I think, man, like we're starting to get to this point where because we gave the operator, or sorry, the operator assault for Battlefield 4, but for us operator, the fire resistant suit, and then we also have, and that's basically a mask, right? We just changed their mask, and then we also have like the gas mask, and now we have the night vision goggles. Is like there's something interesting going on with the choice in gadgets here, right? Because all the masks are acting in sort of a passive way. Except, I guess not the night vision goggles. You do turn those on and off, but even those, like, you're not, they're not. It's not like an offensive weapon necessarily. And so I definitely sit there on the loadout screen sometimes, and I'm like, man, like they're throwing gas. I feel like I need the gas mask, or they're throwing incendiaries. I feel like I need that fire suit, but I don't want to give up my revive paddles,
Yeah,
like
right.
I don't want to give up my health pack. So it's creating some like interesting choices. The more gadgets we add, the more you sort of get in this bind where you don't. I feel like every time I don't wear the gas mask, I get gassed. Every time I
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
wear the fire
I'm the
suit,
same way.
I get fired, right? And then
Yeah.
I wear the gas mask and no one's using gas.
Yeah, and you're probably just noticing it more, overthinking it, when in reality, it's no different than any other round.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I kind of want to get to the actual developing side of things, if you don't mind, because I know a lot of people out there, you've pointed it out, there's two things people love, and those are night maps and snow maps. It seems like those are always the two most requested things, and you've fulfilled that on both sides. But there's a lot of people out there that are just like, why can't you just flip on a switch and just say, hey, this is now a night map? What goes into taking a day map and turning it into a night map?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I think the first thing is like, okay, a lighter is going to go into relighted. It's not flipping a switch. They actually each light, like it just doesn't work the way people think. Like each light is hand placed and it's a big deal. Like you're looking in every corner and trying to make sure that when we set these maps up that you're not creating these gameplay situations where I can camp in the dark and I have an advantage where I'm killing people that are in the light. So that, like on the main game, we're doing a daytime map. That's like a big challenge, and because at the same time, you still want it to look hot, right? Like you don't want everything to just be at the same brightness level and very, that's very like 90s, right? It's very old school. Just have everything the same brightness level. We're way past that at this point. So when we go in and take a night map, it's first of all, you're going in and you're touching every one of those lights. And like in some of these maps, it's like hundreds of light sources. And you're like manually tuning each of those lights, and you're playing it and then going back and tuning it, and you're playing and then going back and tuning it. And then once you're all done and the lighting's all done, there's texture adjustments. So like what the artists have done was specifically set up to look good, you know, in a daytime environment. And when you turn it to nighttime environment, you get, you know, you'll get visual bugs. There's visual jank all over the place. And so then the artists have to go back in and clean up all that stuff and change out textures just better for nighttime and things like that.
So
and then
so
there's
basically, sorry. So basically, you know, for a daytime map, it's not you've got the sun up there and that's putting out uniform light across the map. You've got thousands of little sources of light
yeah.
throughout the entire map.
Yeah, especially when you're like going indoors and stuff, and even then, like there's light sources you don't see. You have no idea they're there. They're just making the light look more natural and realistic than it actually does if we just set the sun up and that was it. And so it's, you know, it's one of those things that like people can't necessarily see the work, but you know, it's a lot of work and it's a lot of just testing. It's a lot of like when we go set these up, and we tried it out with a few other maps as well. We tried downtown nighttime just to see what that would look like, and maybe we put that out at some point. There were some interesting challenges there though. There's so many nooks and crannies in that map,
and then
all
the lights and the buildings
flow.
and all that.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that would be a nightmare.
We've got someone asking, ZH Pete is asking, would physically based rendering make it easier to convert a day map to a night map? I personally don't know what that means because I'm not a dev. Can you?
Maybe I would have to talk to the engineers and lighters about that. It depends on the engine, it depends on the assets and the level, like theoretically, but the problem is like the way things are set up right now is the way they're set up, right? Going in and like changing core systems is it's risky.
Gotcha. So I guess if you could put a man-hour number on it, flipping the switch from night to or day to night.
Yeah, I would say it's like a week of a lighter per map, and then maybe like a couple days for an artist, and then a couple days for a designer just to go through and verify that we didn't create any, you know, spots. And I'm sure, here's the other thing, I'm sure we're going to release this thing and I'm going to get blown up on Twitter and on Battlelog and everywhere else about like, oh, you missed this corner, it's too dark, and we'll go in, you know.
Yeah, so someone's camping in the underneath the box car and I can't see them and they're just lighting people. Well, and you know, that's no different from Battlefield 4 when Graveyard Shift came out. I mean, there were plenty of spots where people would just hang out, and unless you knew that that was a hot spot, you were going to get shot in the back every time you ran across from it. So,
and the cool thing for us is like our you call it like the original maps, vanilla maps as people call them. We did night map in some of the vanilla maps, so we're used to looking for that stuff and dealing with that stuff. Not totally new for us. Believe me, that was a grow house, man. When you're down in the grow house, that was a major issue for us. Was getting that thing when it goes dark to kind of go uniformly dark so that, you know, you don't necessarily have an advantage in this corner or that corner. Same thing with when we did Precinct 7. You know, we let you turn off the lights in the actual precinct.
Right.
You know, that's a lot of work. You know,
and Christ, that thing is dark in there.
Yeah, no, the night vision goggles in that map are amazing. Like it makes all the difference. Especially for me, I play a lot of mechanic and enforcer. And I'm a run and gun guy. I like run right up on people, and so having the goggles.
You're a driving guy. What are you talking about?
Well, you know, I also play. I mean, I play a lot of infantry. I like a lot. If I'm, you know, I like the gunfight, but I prefer when I'm in the gunfights. I actually prefer the maps where there's not vehicles. I like bank. I like, you know, I like the close quarter stuff. I always have, even in Battlefield 3. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah.
I like the big maps too with the vehicles, but.
What were the maps in Battlefield 3? There was Zeba Tower. Was that it?
Close quarters maps.
Yeah, the close quarter map.
Was it Bazaar? But they were good. Yeah.
Bazaar is a classic. That'll always have a special place in my heart. And I was playing on Xbox 360 at the time, so I didn't get the full 64 versus 64 player experience of Bazaar. So. I missed out on that one. Astacath is actually asking kind of the opposite. Would it be easier to turn a night map into a daytime map, or does the same amount of work go into that?
Like the same amount of work, yeah. It's just you're basically setting up two lighting environments, and when you go and you set up all the daytime lighting environment, it has nothing to do with the nighttime lighting environment. You're going to go set up it's all new for the lighter. Same thing in reverse. Like if we took the Beat, or we took Grow House, or we took Precinct 7 or any other map like Docks or whatever, and we try to go make it daytime, they're going to go set it, you know, they're not there's not a switch they flip. They basically go in, they make a new layer and make all new lighting setup.
We've got some chatter going on. Lo Carly, if I pronounced it correctly, I gotta butter Zach up first. I just can't go out right away and say, hey, spill everything you know that's coming up right now.
They want the leaks.
They want the leaks.
Well, all right. Let's start.
Starting the rumor. Hey, you lurkers! I know we got some in here. Here they come.
Easter eggs.
Man, like you mentioned Grand Bazaar, which is like just such a fun map. It'd be really cool if somebody would do a remake of that thing. That'd be super awesome.
Do you realize?
No kidding.
I would literally delete every Battlefield game off my computer except for Hardline if there was a Grand Bazaar.
I'm talking on the internets right now to people.
Confirmed.
Live internet.
Is that public affairs sitting there by you?
Look at this right now. People are like, no.
You just asked me what do they think of that idea. They seem to like that idea. Someone should do that.
Yeah. Grand Bazaar would be good. Yeah, very much.
Grand Bazaar.
Epicenter would be a good one.
Yeah.
You'd get a lot of response from Epicenter too.
Someone should look into that.
So are we talking of possibly a best of just everything?
I didn't say any of that. I just said that I think that's a cool idea.
That'd be a great idea. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you want something more confirmable, I'll tell you. You guys mentioned snow. There will be another snow map. I'm not going to tell you when, but like more snow will come. We like snow too.
Yes.
I like that as well.
Road to Jalal, man.
Crazy.
BF2, man.
I don't know how that would necessarily fit into the cops and robbers world per se. Grand Bazaar could be someplace down on the Mexican border, I think.
Yeah, you can make that work.
Yeah.
I played a lot of that map, and like you could do a lot of things with that map.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, it's weird for us because like obviously Battlefield 4 has had a lot of success bringing over like older maps, but it's the same setting. It's like military.
Right.
Yeah.
Military for us, obviously, with the sort of domestic focused cops and criminals. Those opportunities don't really exist for us. They're very few opportunities for sort of previous maps to sort of come into our game.
Well, close quarters, you could definitely snag something from there because you're dealing with buildings, and actually the military aspect was kind of out of place there. So that on their side was kind of a stretch. I mean, it was a cool stretch, but nonetheless, I would have felt more at home with cops and SWAT teams raiding the top floors, Die Hard style.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah, so no, that's very that would indeed make a pretty cool map.
Yeah, it would. Someone should do that.
Yeah.
So
that's literally my favorite map of all Battlefield.
Someone should do that.
Yeah.
You could also do Damavand Peak Point Break style.
Yeah, so Breakpoint was our Point Break map though. Like every map done, we have basically like a 80s or 90s action movie that's like sort of our this map.
That brings up a very good point too, because randomly on AMC The Dark Knight Rises came on, and the scene where they storm the stock market, I'm like, holy crap, that looks like something I know. That looks exactly like Bank Job right there. And I mean, was that kind of I know that building isn't a stock exchange. I don't even think it's in New York. I don't know that they use that, but was that one of the buildings you looked at? Because the thing, that corner
style, right?
Yeah, that corner building, it just looked exactly like it. I was like, wow.
Yeah, we looked at that movie for that map specifically. We also looked at Heat. Heat was a big influence on Bank and on Downtown. Because Heat really has like, they go in and they rob the bank, and it feels very much like, sort of a bank job type thing. But like if you remember that scene, it's like they get out with the big bags of money, right? And they're on the street and they actually get in the car, and it's like, who is this? Val Kilmer is like the last one not in the car, and that's when he sees the cops, right? And he kind of like starts, he doesn't care, he just pulls out his gun and starts popping off at them, and then that's when they get in the shootout. But then they go down the street, and it actually encompasses a really large area, and they end up getting out of the car, and and so you sort of have like heat, a little bit of the heat in the bank, and a little bit of the heat in downtown. Heat was probably the biggest of any of the movies we watched. That scene, we were like, we want that, like that feeling, right?
What a great movie, by the way. I got to watch that again now that we're talking. And honestly, I don't think my wife has even seen it. I mean, she hasn't seen Heat. I don't think she's seen Training Day either, which is another great cop movie. And looking back in Training Day, actually, there's a lot of stuff that reminds me of The Block and things like that, because you got that
beat as well, like that whole apartment and,
exactly.
That scene in Training Day when they're like out on, maybe I'm thinking of the other Denzel. There was another Denzel movie that was kind of like that too, but like basically they're in the apartment complex, they're kind of running along the balconies, and it very much reminds me of The Beat.
Yeah, no, I think that
was a Man on Fire.
No, but that is one of my. We were just talking about that the other day.
That's a good.
That is an amazing movie. When I first saw that movie, I had no idea what it was. I didn't know who was in it, what it was, and so for the first hour of the movie, I thought it was about this dude's like emotional struggle, and then like it just flips on you, right? Like that movie is amazing.
Yeah.
What was I just?
Well, this is cool. What other movies influence these games? Because I kind of like the direction this, because I'm big on pop. Excuse me, I can't even speak straight, and I've only had half my beer.
We watched The Town.
The Town. Town was pretty good. That actually surprised me.
I like The Town because they're using like the M16s or whatever, so it helped us sort of.
Yeah, but the thing, every time I watch The Town, towards the very end when they're in the the garage at the end, and the SWAT team fires the M16 and he immediately pulls his charging handle back again. Every time I see that, I go crazy. I'm like, why are you doing that? I've been in the military too long. Stuff like that ruins things for me. I'm like, video game could get it right. Why can't you get it right? You've got a multi-million dollar budget, but
what? Hold on 1 second. What map was influenced by Gremlins? Oh, he's just sending me cool movies.
Is that Precinct? You've got snow and you've got nighttime.
No, Precinct was that movie. There was that movie Assault on Precinct 13. That was probably, if I had to say one movie would be an influence for that, that would be that one. Breakpoint was Point Break.
Right. Yeah. Should have figured that out with a name like that, right?
Yeah. Museum. I mean, there's been a number. Museum was more just about that setting. There's been a number of sort of.
Night at the Museum deeply influenced that, right?
And like Entrapment, stuff like that. Even like there's that great. Museum, I guess it's like a diamond exchange, but it feels like a museum in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. There's that like robbery scene where the girls go in there and they're doing all their like ninja moves through the laser lights and stuff.
You pulled out everything for these. That's awesome.
We like a lot of movies.
Tons of research.
Half Baked was for Grow House.
Well, there's other like Grow House.
I want to talk to Samson.
Like Grow House was a no-brainer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You got Breaking Bad.
Oh, you're right. Gremlins is legit. Okay, there's a map that we're blocking out right now that is influenced by Gremlins. That's all the leak I'm going to say on that map.
Oh, really? A Gremlins-based map.
We're starting.
So are we talking Gremlins 1 or Gremlins 2 in the high rise?
We're talking Gremlins 1.
Yeah, traditionally, the only one that really counts.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, are there going to be little Easter eggs in there as well?
Oh, we have Easter eggs in every map.
So the night maps, do the night maps have different Easter eggs as well?
Like we're going to pay off. Did we put anything specific in those? No, but when that patch comes on Tuesday, probably the biggest Easter egg we've done yet is going to become active, and it's like we'll see how many hints. I'm curious. Like I was really surprised the stuff that the community was able to figure out with the F4.
They're calling you #1 leak man now. That's awesome, Barticle. Good job.
That's fine. That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so I forgot what I was saying. Number one leak, man. I like that. I need
Are
another
you?
trophy.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to allow the community to just
Oh,
kind
right,
of
that's
go with it for a while before you start
Yes.
dropping anything?
Yes. So I'm gonna let it go for a little bit just to see, like, with no hints. I mean, people have already sort of seen some of the clues that we put out with Pack 2 that are going to lead into this thing, and they've been mentioned on like videos, but I see them on the videos going like, what is this for? What is this? How do I get this or whatever? So I'm waiting to see if people.
Start putting two and two together.
It's pretty complicated, this one. And so I'm just going to see how far people get, and then I have like little like, okay, here's a little hint that we can drop. Maybe we'll drop it in like a week. If no one gets it in a week, I don't know. Like when I think about it, like how to do this thing, I'm like, no one will ever figure it out. But then I look at like the stuff people figured out for BF4, and I'm like, maybe they'll figure it out with
Yeah,
no hint.
you might be underestimating some of the. I mean, you've seen Beautiful Mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're gonna have like Danny on PC with like chalk and little lines attaching things all over his little room, 3 o'clock in the morning, because I'm pretty sure he doesn't sleep at that time. So um, you can't underestimate the crowd out there, because you give them a
Jack,
little bit and
man.
they're gonna take it. Well, yeah, Jack, yeah, that entire
Well, his whole
crowd.
group, they lived. They lived for Easter eggs.
Well, and this one that I'm talking about right now is in there for him. This
Yeah.
one is in there for Jack Frags.
Well, with that being said, that might be a hint for him enough.
Might be.
Yeah. Let me Skype old Jack.
Load him up here.
Yeah. That's
So,
awesome.
so taking this a little bit further, this Easter egg, is this going to be some sort of reward that the player gets to keep? Possibly something that fires ammunition of some sort?
Well, how about this? There's like two main parts. It's not like one thing. And the first part is something that people get to keep, and then you need to use that something they get to keep for the second part.
Really?
Yeah.
So, just throwing something out there, like you might get a bolt, and then you got to get the rifle and earn it. That type of a deal? Not necessarily a gun, but that theory.
That type of thing, yeah. Yeah.
So the
Just wait.
first
We'll
thing you
talk
want is-
after it comes out. Like, what was that?
So basically, we're going to replace the bulletproof shields with Captain America shields. I'd love to see people
Can't
running
do
around
that,
with that.
man.
Yeah,
Can't do that.
trademark.
Yeah, that's a
trademarks,
trademark, man.
Trademarks.
Yeah.
Actually, I probably shouldn't have even said Captain America. I'm going to get sued right now for that.
I wonder how that works. You're just
Yeah.
talking. It's okay.
It's Mace. Someone else said I like turtles.
That was visceral
My
Dennis.
It's
favorite videos.
visceral
Dennis.
Dennis. Is he sitting around you right here? Just hit him upside his head right now for that.
Who is that?
This is a Nerf dart. I just hit him, or I hit his monitor.
Nice
It's
shot.
not that
So
far away. We throw a
so,
lot of darts, guys.
I need to go back to a question. I promised Rec Filming we'd get to this. He asked how long ago did you start on the night maps?
I guess kind of right after. I guess we started them before we even released Pack 2. Like when Pack 2 was kind of done, but getting ready for release and everything, I guess is about when we started them. And then, like we didn't necessarily know when the whole thing was going to come out. And so they were just kind of a back burner side project. Like when you got the time, do it. But if something for expansion pack 3 is up, that takes priority. So we didn't necessarily know when we were going to get. It's just something we're going to cook up and then go, hey, we have this. Can we release it? And it's basically how it went. We just did it, and it ended up getting done. The thing is, it's like exciting. Like when you get excited about something, then like it just kind of flows, right? And
Right.
that was
It's contagious.
Do it right. As a team asked to do it. It wasn't like the company said, hey, you should do some night maps and do these maps and convert them to night. Probably would have taken longer if that's the way to come down. But it was more that the team was like, hey, let's do this. This would be cool.
So earlier you said you all look up to and respect LA, the Dice LA. Do you all bounce off ideas at all? Is there any communication between you all?
Yeah, less so on ideas and more of like obviously there's things that we take from their game, and there's things that they've taken from our game. They just did a patch, and in the patch you get, I think they put in, I haven't got to play it yet, but I believe they put in our minimap system. I believe
Yep,
they put in
they did.
our capture zones are shown on the minimap, the heights
Yeah.
are shown on the minimap. I think maybe even they put in our squad leader system where we promote people that ask for orders if no one
Yep.
gives them orders.
That's
Uh,
correct.
so basically, it really ends up being up to you guys. Like when stuff comes out and people start talking, oh, it'd be cool if we get this. Then I'll talk to David Serlin, and he'll just say, hey, it's always just an ask, like, hey, you mind if we grab this? And it's like, of
Right.
course, yeah. Grab it.
And that's this is really to just kind of go back to what you're saying earlier, because I know a lot of other people are showing up now, and it's to kind of dispel that whole, well, we're only doing this because Battlefield 4 did that. Instead, it's more of a, hey, we're going to work together to make both our games better by combining our resources and really just helping each other out, right?
Yeah, I think, it also comes down to like this whole, obviously like online shooters have been around for a while, but them being supported as a live service and the way that they're supported is changing. It's changing all the time, and it's still very new in the industry. In my opinion, Dice LA are the leaders of that. They are doing the best job of supporting their game that pretty much any online first-person shooter is doing. They're providing a ton of value. In my opinion, it's the best value in gaming, that game. It's unbelievable the amount of content they put out for that game, and that they continue to put out for that game, and the support, and they listen to their community. And yeah, for us, it's just, that's, I look at that and I go, well, that's how we should do it too. They're doing it right. We should also do it right. Uh, yeah, I think, look, in the end, we all work for the same company, and we helped out. We helped out all the way back to Endgame on Battlefield 3. So part of it is just you help out other studios. It's
Right.
something that we may have some technical experience here. It's like the high tick rate servers, right? Well, we have the best networking engineer in the freaking world sitting over here. So he's the one that went in and helped them out, and when they did it, they credited him. They're like, hey, big thanks to Visceral and the Hardline team for helping us out with this.
Well, and I figured, when the whole tick rate thing kind of got cleared up for them, that a lot of it had to do with you all, because from day one, and I think Paul can especially talk to this, that the overall feel of Hardline was just leaps and bounds ahead of Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to fault them for it. It was a very ambitious game with, everything they put into it. It's a huge game. But Battlefield Hardline just had a feel to it. The gunplay felt tighter. Your shots felt like they were hitting and everything else. So it's good to see that they have come to you all to determine what you all did to make things work and use that to make their own game better.
And like I said, it's a two-way street. Like, we go to them all the time too. I'm not bragging or boasting
right.
about
No,
any
and I get that
contribution
also.
we've made. We're super proud to and happy to be working on a Battlefield game and get to work with the different groups that work on Battlefield. If both games get better, it's a win for you. People all the time try to get in these like Twitter fights with me about like which one's better. I don't care. Like, Battlefield's the best. That's what I know.
Yeah,
like,
it's one
it's the best
team, one
FPS
fight, right?
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all working under the same umbrella, and not to get on the economic side of it, but the money goes to the same place in the end. So yeah, no, I agree though. Like you said, Battlefield 4, we're coming up on 2 years for them, and they just released a map created by a community, and I can't think of any other game in the past that has done something that ambitious. Paul, does anything come to mind to you? Can you think of something that an entire community has put input in and
No.
built from the ground up?
That's the first time I've ever seen it.
No, I think a lot of people, tend to forget that, and it's always comparing it to the last game, but they aren't thinking, what has this game done that sets it apart from the others? And like you said, there's been really great interaction on that. Yeah, Pete just said just past 2 years today.
Yeah, they announced the
So
birthday of Battlefield today on Twitter.
yeah, so there it is. Two years, and you're getting new DLC created by a community. I mean, that's spectacular right there. So,
Yeah, and I
um,
think, we often get, like we work for a big corporation. We get people to throw accusations about us that we're greedy and this and that. They're giving people free content right now. They're supporting that game. It's not about the revenue at this point on that game. It's about that they've built a really large, strong community that really like their game. And like, look, the other thing too is like developers. Like, I don't know. I don't care about the money. I want people playing the content that I work. Like, this is a hard job. Like when people, on message boards or Twitter want to call us lazy, it makes me laugh. Like, no one that's making it in game dev is lazy. You can't.
Yeah.
You just can't. Like, you're
yeah.
not gonna make it.
that's your that's your baby right there. I
Right.
mean,
We work our butts off. I just want people to play it. Someone else. That's the rad thing about working for this corporation. Someone else deals with the finance and how do we get sales and how do we market it. Not my problem. Like, I'm just trying to make the best game I can make, and I want as many people to see the content that we're making as possible. It's the whole thing why we wanted to do Nightwoods for everybody. It's like everybody loved Backwoods on Criminal Activity. I'm like, damn, like I want everyone to see that, not just premium players. How do we get everyone to see that map? And if it makes people go, oh wow, they're doing cool stuff for premium, I'm gonna get premium. That's great, but sure, of course, I want the company to make money, but like really, I just want people to play the game. The money and stuff that just. I'm in a position where I don't have to worry about that. I worry about the game.
I agree.
Yeah.
Moving on, we've touched on the maps and we touched on the NVGs, but one thing we have not got to yet are the weapons. And there are a couple new weapons coming out, right?
Yeah. There's a new. Sorry, I just dropped all my Nerf darts. There's a new battle rifle and a new assault rifle. The problem with the weapons is, like, I just found this out. Like, we can name the weapons. Hold on. It's just like community manager just sent me an email making sure it's not about this.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we're good.
He's like, what are you saying right now?
Wouldn't be the first time we got you in trouble, right?
Yeah, it's fine. Trouble's fine. As long as I'm still here, I'm okay with it. A little heat. A little controversy is good. The weapons. So here's the crappy thing about the weapons. Like, when I go out, like in this position I'm in right now, I'm basically going out and trying to like promote the game. And I'm trying to, like, this is sort of I don't know, it's an interview, but it's like I'm out here trying to promote the game, right? I'm trying to tell people, hey, we're doing cool stuff. So anyway, when we're trying to promote the game, we're not allowed to use the names of weapons because, like, there's weird laws about this. It's kind of like the thing you were mentioning when you said, I forget what it was that you said, but well, hold on, someone's eyeing me about that. They're going to explain it right now. Right, yeah. See, I get it.
Was I talking about someone suing us for mentioning the Captain America?
Right. So it's
Right.
like, so the guns, let's wait till they're out and then I can talk more about the guns. I know that sucks, but like, they're cool. They're cool
Okay,
guns.
So do they actually use official names that are used in real life? Because I know certain things you can't. Like, obviously, Desert Eagle is that's been changed. That's a trademark name. Colt Python, you'll never probably be able to use Colt Python, even though it's probably the most badass revolver in the world. I really want one, but they're $2,000. But that's another story.
Colt's trademark, Winchester's trademark, Remington. These are all trademarks, right? And like, and
Right.
sometimes, there's situations where like either we'll pay to use the trademark or they'll just agree to let us use it. Look, it's a good promotion for them. I remember when we put the Bearcat in the game, the dude that ran the company that actually makes those, he hit us up and he's like, hey, you have my thing in the game, you can use the name, it's rad. Like, he liked it, he liked that it was in there. He didn't care. It's not like,
He's like, it's free publicity for him.
right.
He looks at it
what
that
kind
way.
of publicity does he need anyway? It's not like citizens
Yeah,
are buying these things. It's like he has like, he knows how many he's gonna sell, like
Yeah,
however
exactly.
that, like, I don't know how that works.
If anyone, and by the way, anyone else out there that has some questions, start feeding them now, because we're kind of the 45-minute point, and I know some of you probably have questions out there, and I want to make sure they're asked. What's that?
It's like, I feel like we've been talking for like 10 minutes.
45 minutes, man. We started right on the hour.
I have that effect on people. I will admit it.
Yeah. It flies by, man. All right. Well, what about in addition to the DLC? Are you going to be doing any gameplay updates, tweaks?
Yeah, there's a bunch. We'll have patch notes out. I don't know it off the top of my head. There's a bunch of weapon tuning that's gone in there. There's a bunch of bug fixes that have gone in there. You know, let me tell you about one thing about Dice LA. Really gets under my skin. These guys are doing like PDF patch notes. Like, what? I don't have time to do that. Like, I see that and I'm like, they just raised the bar. It's like, oh no, now my patch notes have to be like produced.
I saw the tweet today. What was it? The mock book. That had the leaves on the cover and everything.
Beardo did that.
Yeah, Beardo did that. That was
pretty funny.
Shout out to him for that, because that was very. I actually got a laugh reading that. That was pretty clever.
That was 25 pages of notes, man.
And it's all like in this clean, pretty format with like. I can't. I got to step my patch note game up now. So I'm gonna look into that. But the patch notes will drop.
Got to pass that to Mitra.
I got to get it together. I just have a bunch of. It's all to put together patch notes. You're digging through a bunch of change lists in the game and going, what do we do here? Why do we do that right? Like some of it I document as we go. Some of it I don't because we're just going. You know, I've got. You know, we have 2 more expansion packs we're working on, and then in addition to the patch, right? So the loadout bug was fixed. Some weapon tuning goes in there. A bunch of spectator improvements are going in there. The rest, you'll have to wait for the patch notes. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
So let's start rapid firing some of these questions here. We'll just I'll toss them to you, and you just swing at them and try and answer them quick and succinctly. Barticle's asking, were the 2 guns chosen because it was easier to base them on existing gun models, like with the maps?
I don't really know why our weapons designer chose the ones he chose, and I don't think he's over there to ask. I don't know. Oh, I just got all overexposed. I don't know why he chose those 2 guns. I like the weapons thing. I'm not. I run that P90 or that FAL. That's what I run.
Our good friend Lano's asking, what changes are coming that have been made from the CTE? Longer TTK.
Okay.
And Bo say no, we don't want to change that. TTK is fine. Okay,
so what I'm thinking we're going to end up doing, what I'm looking into doing is trying to, it's not going to happen for November 3rd. Well, it's a server-side thing, so it doesn't necessarily have to be like a client patch for the TTK thing. We tried out the longer TTK on PC and the CTE. I would like to put that in the full game, but only for PC. You are faster with a mouse and keyboard than you are with a controller. So what's happening is the experience that you have on console it's a good experience. That's why I'm sure Bo is like, no, right? Because like on PS4 and Xbox One, you know, on the consoles it's fine.
Yeah.
It feels really good. But I am looking to do it on PC. I'm just waiting for an answer back from some live ops people about when I can get the server update going. I would like to do it on PC. At some point, I think we will do it on PC. I can't definitely promise it, but we're looking at it.
Barticle's asking, any news on pure Hotwire mode?
Pure Hotwire mode is tricky. So, okay, we just got the sort of an ability to do like sort of custom loadout setups. Like basically I can void out certain things per mode. But the problem with Hotwire is like, okay, so what was Pure Hotwire? Pure Hotwire was a Hotwire mode that I set up where there was no RPGs, there were no RPG battle pickups, there were no RPGs in the trunk, and there was no C4, I believe is what I did. And then maybe, I made them all fuel trucks. That's right, I made them all fuel trucks too. I forgot about that.
That's nasty.
So the concern I have is there's sort of 2 things. We could make like a separate mode, right? Like pure Hotwire, and you'd still have original Hotwire, but then are we just splitting the Hotwire base up, right? Like, you know, I get on Xbox, I look on West Coast servers, you know, I see like 7 or 8 Hotwire servers. Do I want to split that up more? And then if the answer is no, we don't want to split the player base. This is a problem with all these modes. Like you're splitting players up, you know? Then do we just want to make the Hotwire standard, pure Hotwire. Well, man, a lot of people that play a lot of Hotwire are probably going to be pissed if we go change the rules that significantly at this point. So I don't know. I'm hoping that like as we get closer to like look, we're working a lot of things right now. So like once Blackout goes out and then Getaway gets out there, then all of a sudden our whole team that's been working on all these different things all at once is like working on one thing, and we can start playing around with things more. We can start doing some of the stuff that Dice LA is getting to do in their second year. They're really getting to refine the game and play around with the game and you know, in some ways sort of experiment with things. I mean, I think a lot of the stuff they're doing in their most recent patch with the changes to the tanks and the changes to the anti-tank weapons is you know, it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. And the changes to recon, right? It'll be very interesting to see how those play out. We just don't have the bandwidth right now. But I think fairly soon, once we sort of get Getaway in the rearview mirror and we get that one out there, we'll have a little more bandwidth, and then we can start playing around with some of those things. But right now, there's no plans to put pure Hotwire out in the main game.
Pete's got a question, and then I've actually got one that I just thought of. His is any news on the high tick rat? I don't know what a tick rat is. I'm assuming that's either. I know. I'm just being silly. Any news on the high tick rate? And I don't know what he's talking about right here. If this is an issue, I haven't noticed it.
He's probably talking about server, high tick rate servers.
Yeah, we're working on the high tick rate server. I don't have like news on it yet. We're trying to figure that out. You would think we freaking did the original one, like we're just kidding. But yeah, we're working on that.
And now my question, and this is probably the most important question that's been asked tonight. What music are you introducing?
Ah, okay.
Let's talk music, because I like music.
It's like 20 tracks.
20? That's pretty good. That's a nice...
it's a good chunk of music.
I don't have the like artist list here. I will say that what we did was we basically went through and got more EA music licensing. Works with a lot of like, you know, like EA's actually broken a lot of artists in that like it's nobody, and then their song shows up in Madden and they become famous. You know, that kind of like gets them out there. So EA has like a relationship with a lot of different artists. So we went. It's a lot more like indie stuff. It's a whole variety. I mean, every genre.
So you got hip hop, you've got rock, you've got probably not country, but a little bit of not bad. So we're talking like rockabilly.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Nice.
I think you know when you're driving around in the pickup truck and like Backwoods.
You got banjos going, bam, 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 bam. Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily that. We try to keep everything like in the vibe of the game.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think that the thing about the music that's weird is like some people play Conquest and they bring in vehicles and they're like, what are you talking about music? Like I don't. Sometimes I guess once in a while I hear music, but if you play Hotwire or you play like in vehicles a lot, you know, even though we have a lot of tracks and we added a lot more, it's still like, you know, time I get in there, it's like karma.
I agree with
right. It's like it's nice to just get a little more variety in there.
I agree with Bo. We need more alternative rock, and you know, most of us. Well, Paul, you're a child of what, the 50s? I'm kidding. But you know, Zach and I, you know, you and I are roughly the same age. I'm sure 90s and the, you know, the original grunge, and then one-hit wonders that came in the later 90s, like, you know, Cowboy Mouth, Jenny Says, you know, hint, hint. I wouldn't mind seeing that in there, but that type of stuff. We gonna see some of that ever?
It's not impossible. I know that. The large amount of music that's going in 2.5, I know we already have at least one more song lined up to go into 3. So we're looking for opportunities to add, right? It's always about, you know, licensing fees and whether we have the time and this and that, right? But not impossible. The trick with those like one-hit wonder bands is, like, that's their one hit.
Yeah, they're gonna guard that with Marcy's Playground is not just gonna give up sex and candy for a video game. That's like all they're known for.
Right, and that's like their main, like, you know, because the thing is, a lot of movies and stuff, they want to use those because, like, you know, like you said, we're of the age. I'm 33 years old, and like I go see a movie, and it's like sweet when I hear a song that like
I know,
high school or whatever, right? So
and that's a good song too. It really is.
Yeah, that was a good
Versus
song.
Playground.
I saw those guys
Yes.
live at a music festival, and it was funny because like, hurry up and get to that song, you know? It was like,
Yeah, like I don't know what these songs are. I don't care. Just get to the next one. That's like, you know, here in DC, they've got a lot of great concerts every year, and they've got a chili cook-off. And I know probably about 10, 15 years ago, Soul Asylum was playing, and it's like, I don't know this song. I don't know this song. Just get to the ones we know.
Soul Asylum.
Yeah, Runaway Train.
Runaway train on a one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah.
Black Gold, and I think that's really just about it.
Yeah, I used to go to a lot of music festivals. Like, I live in the Bay Area, so like they do a lot of big concerts here. And like, it was funny back then when I was in high school because there'd be like a headliner, like Green Day or something. And Green Day has like, they have 20 songs you've heard. Like, they can play a whole set of
Oh,
hits.
probably more than that. Yeah, exactly.
But every band before them, it'd be like Sneaker Pimps, and they'd play like Six Underground, and that was really all you wanted to hear. And then there'd be like, what was the Sexy Candy Guys, Marcy's Playground or whatever. There were like so many bands like that you'd sit in these music festivals like, hurry up and play the one song, and then you go to the bathroom, and that's when they play one song, you know.
And then you've got bands out there that are just, you know, they've got a lot of songs, and they're just so big now that, I mean, Muse is one of them, and I just got tickets to go see them. I'm kind of excited about that. And honestly, if they don't play Knights of Sidonia at some point, I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed. But yeah, Bo said he'll send you a list of songs.
Okay, I'll look into it. If we can work them in there, like I said, I'm always looking to add music.
I'll add to it. No, but our taste in music is pretty much the same, and so I'm sure whatever he provides you is going to be good.
I used to be in a band, so I'm like trying to get like, there's like a really good local scene here, and so it's like I've been trying to look into like how can we get some of like the local bands around here, just to get a little exposure, throw them in the game. It's just variety. If you don't like it, hit the button, skip the song, you know.
Yeah, you were in a band. What did you do?
I played guitar, sang a little bit, but mostly
you
just
sang. Oh man,
backup. You know, I just scream in the background.
Backup. All right, gotcha. I was gonna say we might need to hear that in an upcoming.
I have a YouTube channel. I put one song up on YouTube. The song may or may not show up in a video game that I'm working on.
Really?
So I put one song up on my YouTube channel. You can hear that. That's me on guitar on that one. And maybe I do backup. So yeah, I do backup vocals on that one.
So we're just at about the 1 hour mark right here, and I don't want to keep you that much longer, but I am gonna squeeze the vice one more time.
Yeah. Squeeze away. Let's go.
Are there any other little nuggets of information you can toss out there that may or may not have already been made aware of to us?
Oh, yeah, hang on. Let me see here.
I.e. leaks.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Let me hold on.
Yeah.
My
sorry, that wasn't that discreet right there.
It's hard to work in the discrete leaks. We just want to get to the leaks. What I was going to do was I was going to give you a movie. So the next thing is, like, you guys don't care about Blackout. That's already coming out. You're going to get to see that on Tuesday. The next big deal is going to be a Getaway, right? So, let's see, man, this guy sends me so many emails, though. Let's see here if I can find this email. Anyway, so I'll give you a little, we'll do some sweet Getaway hints, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you, there's 4 maps. I'm going to give you 4 movies.
All right.
And that's where we're going to leave that. Let me find it here.
So we established Gremlins is one of them?
No, that's pack 4.
Oh, okay. So
that's
this
betrayal. Come on, you're going to do Gremlins. It's a betrayal. Obviously.
What was that a little while ago? Was that an episode on the TV show or something? Don't feed them after nighttime. How hard is it? I want to say that's Big Bang Theory or something. Anyhow, I digress.
Oh, I'm looking. I'm getting close. Okay. Oh, some of these I can't even say. Okay. Oh my God, these are terrible movies. This is not good. Okay. All right. Pack 3 hints. I'm gonna give you 4 movies. One movie is The Fugitive.
I don't care.
The second movie is a Steven Seagal classic, Dark Territory.
I was hoping you were going to say Under Siege.
Okay. Another movie. I don't really think this one's legit, but I'll throw it out there. I don't know why you put this in there. Is Lou Diamond Phillips in Route 666.
I don't even think I know what that movie is.
And then I can't say the other one. You know, of course you don't. It's like some B movie. We watch a lot of. Dude, Netflix, man, you can go deep. I can't even say the other one because the name of the movie is basically the name of the map. It would give it. It would completely give it away. So
can you change it?
I gave you
in some way?
Gremlins for Pack 4, and I'll give you another Pack 4 one because we're now really starting to dig into what we're going to do for Pack 4. So the other one I'll give you is Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
All right. So the Fugitive is the one that kind of.
That one's intriguing, isn't it? Because it could be like a variety.
Oh, there's
settings.
a ton of stuff in that.
So a dam map is confirmed. We are going to the dams. That would make an interesting
can neither
map.
confirm nor deny.
Yeah, that would make an that would make an.
I'm not here to.
Yeah, I know. That would make an interesting map, though.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool. So it looks like you all have a lot of stuff in store for us, which is awesome. And it looks like you all are enjoying putting it out for us, which is even more awesome. Paul, do you have anything in closing?
No, other than to say thanks for all the hard work you guys are putting into the game. I know I appreciate it.
I mean,
so.
look, we're all working our dream job over here, right? We get to make video games for a living. It's sweet, and it's really cool to work on a game that you get to support after release. Not many of us have had that chance before. Usually we ship a game, we're jumping on the next game. We ship that game, you're jumping on the next game. So it's pretty cool to get to do it this way. I play every night. Well, I play 6 nights a week on Xbox One. I just want to say something to those that play with me on Xbox One. If I add you to my friends list, don't join the other team. Like, what is that? You're my friend. Come be on my team. Help me. I'm tired of getting hunted. I had to hide my online status the other night.
Oh,
so bad. It was like they would just run right by my teammates to kill me. It's like, well, I'm not that good.
And your teammates would just let it happen.
Yeah, I mean, they don't, they're trying to play the objective. And that's the frustrating thing, honestly, is like when that happens, I have to pretty much just play Conquest or Deathmatch because I play the objective. And people know I play the objective. So what happens is I friend them because I like playing with people and I like hearing people's opinions on the game. And then I'll go play Blood Money. That's other than Hotwire, that's my favorite mode. I probably play more Blood Money than Hotwire at this point. And they know that I'm playing the objective, so they'll just go hide. They'll hide by the objective. They'll let everyone else get the money. But then when I show up at the money pile, I get stabbed.
Out comes a knife.
Yeah.
All right, well,
or the
Zach,
bat.
we have kept you 3 minutes over. First, I want to thank everyone who showed up. We appreciate you coming out and watching.
Sure do.
You make this possible. Your questions just made this even better. Paul, thank you for filling in for Chris. Chris apologizes that he couldn't make it, but duty calls, and he's a busy man like all of us. And
I haven't talked to him in a while. It's been.
I guess I'll make sure he touches base with you.
All right. I talked to Lano the other day. I miss Lano.
Yeah.
Get these guys out here again somehow.
Well, I think a DRMB play night in the future with the devs sounds like a very awesome idea. Maybe.
Yeah. You know what?
Possibly.
We just need a night. If we pick a night, and I'll put it in my calendar, and then it happens. If we just say like, "Oh, we're going to do it sometime," we'll never do it.
Yeah.
It's like,
exactly. So I'll have one of them reach out to you. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But aside from that, Zach, really appreciate you coming out tonight. Thank you for sharing what you did. Hopefully we didn't get you in too much trouble tonight.
I'll know tomorrow. I'll let you know tomorrow.
Yeah.
He'll get the Mitri letter.
I'll be watching Gremlins for sure now. So thank you again. And guys, stay tuned. Next Thursday, we've got another guest on podcast. We'll let you know about that soon. This is DRMB out.